We're gonna be trying out a new lure today, and that is our little rat bait. Look at this guy, he's so cute. He is adorable, right? Adorable guy that I hope gets blown up on as we have a helicopter going. What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of IndigeFish. I'm your host, Robert Jacobo, and I am all sweaty because guess what, guys? We just hiked on the jetty over here. So as you can see, we definitely kind of went a little bit of a ways. And so we're fishing at night, guys. We're fishing into the night. And so way we're gonna do that, we're gonna be trying out a new lure today, and that is our little rat bait. Look at this guy, he's so cute. He's adorable, right? Adorable guy that I hope gets blown up on as we have a helicopter going overhead. Hopefully the audio is still fine. But guys, check this out. I have used it before just to see what the motion looked like. I was very curious, and it definitely does very well as far as movement in the water. Now this bait, this lure comes from JK Baits. Thank you, John, for hooking it up there over at the tackle meet. This is where we met John from JK Baits. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna check this out in the water. He's been letting me know that off the jetties, now I never even thought about this, right? Now, rats and stuff like that, they live in the holes and the crevices of these jetties, and sometimes they fall off into the water. Great thinking, great protein source for the fish. So what they do is they'll be swimming, trying to get out of the water, and boom, something big ends up grabbing them, right? So we're here right now off the jetty. Now, I don't know if you guys can see it, but I'm looking at a lot of different structures and stuff like that in the water. I'd put you guys under there, but you know what? I'd have my my lamp on here as well, and it's not necessarily waterproof. But we got a lot of structures that are going on. So I'm thinking, okay, we got a lot of structure. That's a lot of places where we can, so I'm thinking we got a lot of structure. We got a lot of places where fish can go ahead and ambush this little guy and just pop him out of the water. Hopefully we can get on a calico bass or a spotted bass. Hopefully we can get a spotty. That would be nice. That'd be actually my first spotty that I've caught here in Redondo, actually caught ever. So if anything, guys, I'm hoping for a great night of fishing. If not, we also have another rig that we can go ahead and set up for some bait fishing as well. We're going to get that set up with some squid. We brought a little bit of squid out, but for the most part, I'm gonna be working with this guy, and hopefully we can go ahead and get something to really smash this lure. So anyways, guys, stay tuned, stay with me, and let's see if we can't get that daily skunk off the back. All right, guys, stay tuned for more. All right, guys, so we got it on there. Now, let's send her out. First cast. Now, this is a very, very light setup, so we're gonna see and see how this thing rolls. Now, it may need to get wet at first, you know, and really kind of, in order to get that motion going. But I don't know if you guys can see it, right? And I'll kind of just, but there's the motion for you right there, right? Very, very natural looking for the most part, right? And wow, actually, I just looked down and there was some perch that were already going after it in this direction. So let's see if we can't entice something to come back after it. Right, and my best guess is, look guys, if they're gonna be falling off the rocks, right, we're gonna wanna be kind of trailing where they would be going, right? And so we're on cast number 3. Perfectly fine, and honestly, they're not gonna be swimming at super duper fast speeds, right? They may be a little frantic as far as a mouse or a rat goes, but they're not going to be like going crazy speeds or anything. So we want to be able to mimic that as much as possible, right? So we don't have to go super fast, right? And we can throw in a couple little pops here and there, like maybe it gets a little boost of energy. But for the most part, just a nice natural retrieve. And it looks like my retrieve got a little snagged on itself. So, but yeah, guys, let's go ahead and let's keep fishing this guy. He's fun so far. And it's only 3 casts in. And that's the other thing too. Like in addition to catching a fish, obviously we want to catch a fish, guys. Like, they call it fishing for a reason though, right? Like, they call it fishing, not catching, right? You're going to be fishing for fish a lot more than you're going to be catching them. I'll tell you that. All right, we're getting into those twilight hours here. And I'm just fishing these rocks. Let's see, maybe this side. Let's see if we can get anything. Whole plethora of birds coming in. A bunch of seagulls. Or not seagulls, pelicans. And what's crazy is I'm casting, and as my cast gets further in the air, the wind from the ocean side ends up actually, it ends up blowing my bait further into the harbor. I want to see something really quick. What if we were to throw it way out there? What happens? Maybe it's like a call for dinner, right? Maybe, maybe not. All right, guys, coming to you still on the jetty. It is definitely nighttime, right? We're kind of looking at, like different areas down here. We're still in that same spot that we were at before, but yeah, just kind of not necessarily giving up hope here, just need to move to a different spot. So the one thing that we've come to realize is that although there's great movement on that JK bait, it just happens to not be our day on this side of the jetty. Now, I was thinking of going over to the other side. Now, I didn't want to go over to the other side. One, it's windy, it's cold, I don't got a jacket, right? But also two, we're approaching high tide. High tide's going to be roughly about 7:30, 8 o'clock today. And as we get into that high tide, water rising, different things can happen. I do have another pole as well that I have for some squid, so we might toss that out there. But we've had that out here in the harbor and nothing. Line was totally just slack. So we're gonna just kind of keep on going. We're gonna see what else we can do. It really sucks because honestly, this is like my 4th or 5th day just skunking out, and it's not feeling great, right? Like, obviously these are the days that can get relatively discouraging. Now, I'm not discouraged to the point where I'm a terrible fisherman, right? Obviously, temperatures are changing, barometric pressure's changing, tides are changing. We have the water completely changing, right? As far as temperature wise, different seasons, the water's starting to get colder. Some of these more active bass fish like spotted bass and calico bass and barred bass are looking for different styles of water, right? Bonito that are used to like warmer temperatures and stuff like that. Not that we were looking for a bonito on this rat lure. They're not necessarily going to be in these temperatures of water as the water starts to shift. Even the corbina, when we were looking at shore, right? I tried to get a sand crab in front of one. They didn't even react, didn't even do anything, right? So if anything, guys, we're just having to go along with these tidal shifts of temperature, of weather, and just kind of weather the storm. So if anything, let's see if we can't get to the other side of the jetty. Let's work the rat lure on that side of the jetty, because it's possible, right? It's more plausible as well that a big wave comes and hits the rocks and knocks a rat off into the water, as opposed to a rat just mysteriously falling into the water here. So let's go ahead, get ourselves over to the other side of the jetty and see what we can go ahead and drum up. So stay tuned, guys. So although it's dark, you might be able to see some of the waves and everything like that crashing. Now, this is what I mean about like not wanting to be necessarily in a dangerous situation, because at any point, you can see right here, this rock is extremely wet, right? And it's like, you know, at any point, those waves can come smashing up. So if we don't have a good entry point, as far as not necessarily to get all the way down there, but to kind of have a good cast to where we can actually get somewhere without necessarily being caught up on all the rocks and stuff, then sure. But ultimately, we want to make sure that we're safe before we're sorry. So let's keep walking, guys. Let's see if we can find a different entry point and then go from there. But if we don't find one, then we might just go over by the live bait tank and see about going from there, because that might be a little bit safer on the harbor side than just being caught up in something in the middle of the night. You know what I mean? So let's see about that. And these rocks in the middle of the night are definitely a tricky puzzle. I'm actually seeing some lobster buoys out here, which, you got a lobster buoy out here, that means you got bait in the lobster buoy. And that could be nice, because if I throw out there, there might be fish out there looking for a snack. But once again, no entry point. As a matter of fact, a long way down. That's definitely looking at some broken legs. So let's keep moving. All right, guys, so I'm gonna get quickly to it, but just wanted to take off my headlamp really quick and just kind of get a nice quick little video in. Again, now I am a little bit closer to the live bait tank. So we're gonna see about whether or not we can get some catches over here. I'm gonna use the rat lure some more, but also too, I have my squid that I can use as well. But the other thing is that I went over to the other side really quick, used the rat lure, and with the waves, honestly, I don't know if I need like a heavier rat lure. The one that I have just was not moving very well. With the waves, it would just like kind of like kick up out of the water and stuff like that. And so I either need to, you know, really work it and kind of like learn the technique down, or it just was too powerful of waves that were kicking it out of the water. So anyways, I think the other side of the jetty is out for now, but we did try it. We gave it a shot and it was a no-go. So anyways, guys, let's get to it. We're on the other side of the jetty on the harbor side. So let's see what this rat lure can do. All right, so we've been out here. It's almost 10 o'clock at night. Unfortunately, just another skunk day. We went ahead and used some crab as bait as well. We used squid as bait. We used the rat lure. We used a Calico 1.5 ounce jig with glow in the dark. And everything is just kind of like not working right now. I don't know what it is. So if anything, guys, let's get back to the drawing board, because we definitely need some help here. We need to reach out to some people and see what's going on, because it is very interesting that like I'm not hitting anything. But like I said, could be the change of the season. Water's getting a little colder, and you know, it just is what it is. It's nothing too crazy. It's not like we're gonna die of starvation or anything. It's just a little bit discouraging, and that's just being honest, right? But at the same time, it brings us to the drawing board rather than just flat out quitting. So let's try to figure this out. Let's try to figure out what it's gonna take to really start landing these fish again, and kind of go from there. So until next time, guys, take care.